Recently released for Game Pass and other systems, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is a remastering of the namesake. It came as a surprise to me with other gaming news and things going on in the world, but considering I grew up with PlayStation and I never got around to getting into the series beyond the original NES, I think it was the second one with the train, though I was familiar with it from afar with playing DOA and stuff like that. So I figured, hey, why not? Let's give it a try, right? Initial impressions are off to a good start. Game looks pretty good and runs well on my laptop, though more graphical settings surely wouldn't go amiss. Story starts off pretty sparse, but it being a sequel, I assumed I'm just not getting something from not having played the series. But you do have an intro that's reminiscent of Devil May Cry and other games from the era, with a girl looking for the protagonist just before being attacked and kidnapped by a mob, leaving the hero, Ryu of the Dragon Clan, to find and rescue her. Fighting his way through ninja and demons with a flurry of blade and magic alike. With ninja in the title, one would think this is a stealth game in the vein of Tenchu or Siphon Filter, but it couldn't be further from the truth. More like Devil May Cry and other arcade titles from the day with a lot of combos and weapons to use as you see fit. After all, they've kindly locked themselves in here with you as their only escape. So you choose from your grab bag of goodies that you've unlocked along the way, perhaps upgraded a few of your favorites, and get to work making short order of the various monstrosities standing in your way to the next checkpoint. A fairly straightforward game, cutscene, fight, move to the next area with some thankfully light platforming sprinkled in. More on that later. They do try to vary the game a little bit with having 3 extra side characters that you get to play one level with to at least, not only have a different view, but also try out some different weapons that you don't get to as Ryu. In about 7 or 10 hours later, you get credits, job well done. Now, if I'm not misremembering, this series is supposed to be difficult, much like Devil May Cry was, and there were some difficulties, but not the ones I was expecting at all. Before I start ranting about all my issues with this series, or the game I should say, let's go over what I thought were the good points. Off the bat, the game is straight to it, hardly any preamble prior to the action, and that's great. I like getting straight into things, and combat visually is interesting with the various combos of enemy types and executions. This game gives a real good feeling using of lethality when it works. I guess I never realized how few games nowadays allow you to dismember and just chop up your enemies. Not to get too dark or bleak, but I guess it just sticks out so much in my mind currently. I do like for my weapons to have a visceral feel to them, instead of just feeling like they're aesthetically different bats or other blunt objects. The stages, while in scope, are at least a bit varied, and the skyboxes are really well done. And anytime I see a nice skybox, I just gotta take it all in for a brief moment. I've only 2 main complaints with the game. 2. The rest are minor, and I'll get to those later, but first, holy shit, have I never seen a game that's actively trying to kill you with this camera. Since the end of the pre-rendered background days of Resident Evil, you have usually free control of the stick, however, it will block movement at times, which is rather annoying. The main problem with it is there's no dedicated lock-on to any of the enemies, it just kind of floats. And then when you're trying to do platforming, God help you, because you're not necessarily gonna get stuck on the wall. If you ever play Assassin's Creed, this is Assassin's Creed moment where you're trying to climb up the wall. Instead of going up the wall, you freaking swan dive off the building, which is annoying as fuck. Instead, you get blocked by enemies, scenery, you name it. R1 will turn the camera towards where you're facing, but it doesn't really seem to help more than it hurts. Sure, you could also turn off the assistance settings, but that made things even worse for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too used to modern controls and cameras. The other issue I had, and this might be more of a personal one, but I never once felt like I was in control fully of Ryu. Besides being way too many combos, I never even really tried to learn any due to never really feeling like the inputs were working like they should. I don't know if it's just me, the latency or something with my controller and the game, but it just felt like the timing was off. I love Sekiro. Sekiro had tight controls. I had no problem with its controls itself. I have other issues with that game, but the controls, the one thing usually that FromSoft gets right is the controls, so I can't fault them there. But here it felt more like playing with your friends, spare controller rather than ever feeling good. Just I was most of the time I would just haphazardly button mash like I did as a kid versus flow drive in most fighters. Could just be me, but it never clicked. Now on to the minor nitpicks, minor stuff. Item placement seems kind of weird, especially on the normal difficulty, because you you get into a fight, you'd have healing items, but then you'd have too many healing items, so you'd have to use a healing item, or it'd have a save and heal, and then right after you save and heal, or right before you save and heal, there would be an item chest with the orbs that you just got. So it never felt like the items versus where they were gonna place the bad guys or the monster closets, if you will, or the arenas fell off. But I mean, that's minor. It'd probably be more of an issue on higher difficulties where you would need every item to be more strategic with your healing stuff. Also, fuck those fish. Who the fuck decided to have ghost fish that can summon from the other side of the arena immediately just because you shot one of them, and then they all attack at the same time, and it's just... This game was frustrating more than it was difficult, if that makes sense. And that's probably my biggest takeaway. It was fun. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. If you have Game Pass, play it. It's a worthwhile rental on Game Pass. But yeah, if you have Game Pass, give it a shot. Like I said, the action looks good. And if you're into the combo system, maybe you're more into fighters and it's along the way, or maybe there's something I'm missing, let me know in the comments kind of thing. But like, I wanted to like it more than I did. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed my time with it. Thankfully it was short. Thankfully the platforming sections were small because I didn't have to worry about doing too much of that and dying to the world pretty much from misguided judge with jumps. The platforming wasn't great. Let me just put it, the platforming wasn't great. Controls in general just felt loose, compared to nowadays, I guess. Yeah, again, fuck those fish and try it out if you have Game Pass. If you already bought it or if you want to buy it, let me know. Let me know if you want to, if you did play it. Let me know if you played the original back in the day. What am I missing? Did I get something wrong? Am I just missing something and it just didn't click with me? Are you having similar issues? Let me know. Have a conversation down below. Give that like button a click, and let's get a conversation going. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.